Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my class, English for Elementary Teachers. So this is the fourth session, and in this session, we're going to discuss teaching imperatives with listen and do. So listen and do here is kind of a teaching method. And before teaching students or elementary students imperative sentences, what should a teacher know? Okay. So teachers should know sentence types. So they should understand first, or they should be able to distinguish different kinds of sentences. Okay, whether a sentence is a statement, whether it is a question, whether it's comment or exclamation. And then the second one is that the teachers should understand what imperative is, of course. And yeah, here is a brief explanation about what imperative is. So it begins with an infinitive without to. So infinitive is a verb, begins with to, like to eat, to drink, to study. Okay. While in imperative, we omit the to. So like eat, drink, study, walk, jump. Okay, so we don't use to in imperative sentence. And uh, what is the purpose of imperative sentence? So it to say what is required to happen. So it's something like we ask someone to do something. Okay, so it uh, must happen after we ask them to do something. Okay, so it's kind of comment or request. All right, sometimes imperative sentence sound like a bossy because we ask someone to do something. For example, uh, give me your pencil. So it sounds like bossy, right? But we can make it polite. Okay, so we can add please either at the beginning or the end of an imperative sentence, like please give me your pencil or give me your pencil, please. Okay, so of course it feels different. All right. And also, a teacher should know how to practice. As I had explained in the previous meeting, that we can use games, okay, to make the classroom fun and enjoyable. So a teacher should know what kind of game that is suitable to teach imperative sentence. Okay. And also, they should create interesting imperative sentences. Sometimes we need to do some humor in classroom. Okay, make funny sentence, funny imperatives. Like, for example, it's your book. Okay, it sounds funny, right? Of course, we don't mean the students should do that or must do that. We can then say, okay, it's just a joke. Okay, so make it fun and enjoyable. Don't be too serious. All right, and here is why we do or we use listen and do. First of all, it's to acquire English by listening to instructions. Okay, so to enrich the students' vocabulary by listening to the instruction. And then to be active and enjoy doing things in English. Okay, so by doing practice, the students will get involved in the activities, and of course, it's fun for them. And to use gestures to interpret meanings. When a teacher asks the students to do something, for example, um, pick your pencil up, for example. So they will not say anything, instead doing something, okay, with gesture. For example, close your eyes. Okay, they will close their eyes without saying anything. Okay, so they use gestures. Okay, to get used to understanding a general meaning. Okay, so of course, by doing the gesture, they will understand the general meaning of what were being mentioned. Okay, to prepare for spoken interaction. Um, it's not only the teacher who will speak in the activities. Also, we should ask the students to practice it, like someone say something or ask uh, his or her friend to do something. So she or he should speak, right? So, yeah, everyone will get their turn. And to observe good pronunciation and intonation patterns. Okay, by listening, they will imitate what the teachers say. Okay. All right, and here are the activities in listen and do. First, warm up by giving instructions which enable students to use their body parts. So uh, maybe we have taught them the names of parts of their body. And then in warm up, you can ask them to, for example, touch your nose. Okay, because they have known their part of the body. Start with that kind of warm up. And then introduce. A teacher should also introduce the imperative sentences itself. Okay, so tell them that imperatives consist of both positive and negative imperatives, and also give them the example. For example, sit down or don't sit down. Okay, or sit down, don't stand up. Okay, so that's the example you can give to the students as the introduction to imperative sentences. All right, and then also do practice. Um, First of all, we can ask them to do something, only one thing, okay? Only one thing. For example, sit down, please. And then next, you can ask them to do two things at the same time. For example, sit down and open your book, okay? Those are two activities or two comments at the same time. And do like that from the simplest to the more complicated imperatives. Okay. Here are the examples of imperative sentences. You can read here. Stand up. Now sit down. Please be quiet. Pick your pencils up. Clean your table, and so on. Yeah. And here is a quote of the day. And thank you so much for attending my class, and see you at the next lesson. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.